looking at our agenda, we'll go ahead and cover all the main areas of the Ivanti Neurons platform, as we call it. So there's the platform itself, discovery, workspace, edge intelligence, healing, AI and machine learning, UWM, and patch management. So there's definitely a lot, planned. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and cover platform, discovery, and workspace, and then hand it over to Robin and Alan to cover edge intelligence, healing, AI and machine learning, and DEX, and then Lara for UWM and Sam for patch management. Okay, at a high level, here's just a quick overview of all the different items that we've been able to pack in with this release. So this was just released last week. And so again, we're glad to kind of go through these items with each of you to give you an idea and a heads up. Hey, these are all the items that are new. I guess before I get into them, also, since we were kind of short on time, we do like it to be interactive. I would say if you have questions or thoughts, please put them in the chat. We may not really address them in real time, just again, because we're trying to go through this, make sure we give everybody enough time, but we will respond to all those questions that you may have, okay? So by all means, please use the chat as necessary. So the platform is a mixture between Robin Rowe and myself as we look at all these different updates. We have, I guess, what we'd call tenant supportability, landing page updates. There's an area where we updated the device view, and then agent management. That's going to be a sneak peek. So we've been doing a lot of updates in agent management area. I'll go ahead and dive in again on some of these items. The first one is something we've heard quite a bit from our customers, and that's the ability to get access to all of your data. We realized and we knew, we know that there's a limitation in the UI on the devices and people on what attributes you're able to see, or whether that's in that list view, or also the ability to filter. So again, it was very limited in what we had there. We are now making it as possible, or as part of this release, the ability to search through all of those attributes and to be able to filter off of all of them. I will still say it's coming to production. It's pretty close to being there. We're doing our final testing in our dev environments, so I'll honestly expect to see it within the next week. I will go ahead and provide some of a demo of that here in a bit. And then same thing, I'll provide a demo of the updates around agent management. So there's been some reboot options that actually came within this past release. Just as we're trying to centralize everything, we have multiple capabilities that require reboots now, and that's where you'll start to hear more from Alan Braithwaite around app distribution that's now available for our healing customers. That, along with patch, had multiple areas requesting and needing reboots, so we're trying to centralize that as part of the overall agent piece. Again, you'll see more updates here over the next couple releases in that area. Same thing around the overall agent management experience. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. We'll make sure that these slides are provided for you because I want to get into the demo, which I think most of you would be excited to see on these. Okay, so again, this is going to be early access for this quarter. So again, it was something we're trying to do as much as we could to push and be part of our October release. We couldn't get all of it done, so it's going to be flowing through this quarter. But we did want to give everybody here a heads up, especially with it being an Innovators preview. Okay, so I'll stop on those ones and then go ahead and do a demo and then hand it over to Robin on the other items. So as mentioned, a couple of these items are still pretty close to being done. They'll be pushed to production once they're ready. That first one was the enhancing what's called our column chooser. So in this area, you'll see that we now have, it'll be a new look and feel. You'll be able to drag and rearrange the columns here, and it does update it underneath. But more importantly, it's the ability to go through and select essentially any attribute that's there. I know, thanks, Wayne. I'm seeing it too. Like as I said, we've been more of you. We've had a lot of people anxiously waiting for this update. We're excited to say it's there. The one thing I would just kind of mention, we don't have the ability to show any attributes from arrays of information. So think software. You're going to have a lot of software for a given device. We don't have a way to let you see software title or name because it would be a lot of different entries for a single device. We'll probably add that later as we figure out a better user experience for it. But in the meantime, at least you can still see essentially every attribute that's been discovered or imported into your system. Now, on the other hand, with filtering, you do get the ability to filter on everything, even including arrays. So like if I was to go down to software, in this case, I can see all the information that we might have imported for software, whether that's the add and remove programs, the packages, so like the EXEs, if you're looking for a particular EXE, you can look at that for looking at package and then file name. or if there's a particular file size, again, you can go ahead and use any type of filtering on that to find it. While you may not see the file name here, it will actually filter accurately down to those records that have that software package with that file name, okay? Same thing applies to the groups themselves. So again, the exact same filtering. If I was to drill into one of these, again, able to go through and create any type of group or query off of any attribute now, okay? So just realize that that's now available or will be available here shortly, okay? The next one you'll see here is another area that we're working on, and it's, again, kind of in our testing environment. There's still a few things we need to wrap up before we'll release it in an early preview mode, and that's our new agent management experience. So there's a couple things here. We're pulling out agent deployment as one item that's just making it a little bit more explicit and clear on what you can do, whether that's deploying it with Ivanti Neurons and leveraging the deployment representative. You can go ahead and click in here to select the policy that you want to deploy out. Something that's called an enrollment key. So that's just a way to say, hey, this enrollment key, and I'll go to that in a bit, is what the activation key is essentially. I think you've seen that in the options file. There's an activation key area that is the enrollment key. And then you can have it be select a deployment rep, or we'll have it auto select for you. So there's still more work here, but I can select any of these endpoints that may not have the Neurons agent on them, add them, and then go ahead and deploy once it's ready, okay? That one is just saying there's no activations left on that one. And then you can specify credentials for Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. Agent management will actually be a complete list of all the different devices in your environment along with their policy. This is where you can easily go through and reassign a policy to an existing device, or if there's a failed install, you can retry it or delete or uninstall. There's going to be more coming as well in subsequent releases in this area to provide more visibility. So one was the last time, hopefully, it checked in or we saw the device. What are all the different versions? What's the version of the agent installed on this particular device and so forth. So we're going to provide you a lot more information there. Same thing, agent policy is going to be slightly different, where you can start to define everything for a given policy, even connector servers. So again, if I had my, today you may have noticed on connector servers, it's a hard to find policy. This new agent management will let you define anything you want, essentially, okay? You don't have to use those default policies anymore and then change the policy manually later. Again, you can define all these and deploy it out with what's called this enrollment key. So again, when you create an enrollment, I know I'm going quick through this, I don't have much time here, but when you create an enrollment key, you can specify which policy you want to use, the number of activations. Again, if I can put a large number in there, or expiration date, I can put a year out. This is saying that I can install the Neurons agent on up to 10,000 agents by this time frame, and it will already pre-install this policy on it instead of that default policy and then you having to go through and manually adjust it. So in this case, you can already pre-select which policy you want to install on the device.